Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment. We'll be talking about 3 different shows today. One of them, X-Ray and Vav.
One of them, RWBY.
And the final one, Camp.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment. As always, I'm Michael.
I'm Josh.
And today with us, we have our reoccurring guest, Frank Payton. How you doing today, Frank?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. That's good. Josh, what are we doing today?
Oh, we've got a lot on our plate today, so let's just jump right into it. We've got X-Ray and Vav, RWBY, and Camp coming up. We're going to start off with X-Ray and Vav.
But before we start with that, there will be spoilers as we're going to be talking about pretty much the whole show in general. Pause here if you haven't seen it and you really care. If you don't, just keep watching. And welcome back.
Okay, so X-Ray and Vav.
X-Ray and
I mean, the whole show, it's based around the group Achievement Hunter. Mm-hmm. So, and the people based in it.
Basically, X-Ray and Vav came. There were 2 people who worked in Achievement Hunter, Gavin Free and Ray Narvaez.
Junior.
And they were paired up on an episode of, I believe, Minecraft.
Yeah.
And they were a team, and they just referred to themselves as X-Ray and Vav.
2 superheroes.
And it became a joke.
For good. The basic overview of the show, a lot of the characters are based around, like we mentioned, the characters of Achievement Hunter. So, other than Ray and Ray and Gavin, there's Ryan, Jack, Jeff, and Michael. Mm-hmm. And they play, respectively, their stars in the show.
Ryan is the voice of the Mad King. Jeff is the voice of the Core Pirate.
Which is fantastic. Fantastic pun.
Michael was Mogar.
Mm-hmm. And why are you looking at me?
Who?
Because you're Michael.
Oh, yeah. Not me, Michael. I wish it was me, but not me.
I believe Hilda was Lindsay?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think Barbara played Orf, too, who is in... who did I say she was? Or no, Barbara's Yang in RWBY. What do you guys think of the show? Michael and I, we just watched this not too long ago.
Yeah, it was
it's fresh in mind.
My first viewing of the show, because I hadn't seen it before, unlike the other shows that we're going to be talking about today.
So let's start with you. What do you think of the show?
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. It's definitely, if I really had to pick, this is probably my least favorite of the 3 shows we're talking today, but it's still really good. I still enjoyed it a lot. If I'm giving it a score out of 10, which I think we're going to do, is what we did last week.
You can throw some decimals in there, too, if you really want to.
Yeah, decimal points are allowed.
Give it a solid 8.65. No kidding, I'm not going to go that far. I would give this like an 8 or an 8.5.
That's pretty good. That's really good. Frank, how about you?
I think it's been a while since I've seen the show. I watched it as it came out for both seasons, 1 and 2. And like Michael said, it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger because they kind of like came to an end because one of the main people, Ray, left to do his own thing.
Right.
And then in the process of trying to do the next couple seasons, they just kind of, got stalled out or something happened. I honestly don't know. But with how it is now, I think I would give it about an 8.5.
Okay.
It's a pretty good show.
Cool. So,
what about you?
Personally, I loved it. I mean, it's one of my favorites. It was the first one that I watched of the 3 because it was one of the first ones out. It came before both RWBY and Camp. It came a little before RWBY because in the second season, we see that the outro that's used in all of their animation stuff included RWBY and included some of the music from RWBY, from the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. So,
I remember that.
The first season came out before, though. So it was the first one that I had watched and really got into. I really like Achievement Hunter. And I think Gavin's hilarious, and a lot of the lines are funny. There's a lot of things I didn't pick up on, like, oh gosh, what were some of the lines? Oh, there was one that's like, God, I hated Frank. And he's like, sir, I'm Frank. Dang it. I like Johnny. He was on the diet or whatever, Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of stuff that flies over your head that you didn't catch the first time around. So I'd have to give it a solid, I'm going to have to go right around you guys. I'm going to go a little bit higher, though, 8.7.
Okay.
All right. Since we're still talking about X-Ray and Vav, what's your favorite character?
Oh man, are we gonna leave out X-Ray and Vav as the 2 characters that we can't pick?
Sure, because that might be a little too easy.
Nah, you can choose one of them. I think.
Okay.
There aren't that many characters.
I'm gonna negate both of them because since they're the main characters. Mm-hmm. If you guys want to choose them, that's fine. I'm gonna negate both and say Orf. Orf's fantastic.
Orf is
Why
fantastic.
Orf?
Because he's so cheery and just
She.
you're right. She's so cheery and just wants to I don't know, it's so happy. And at the end, she gets those upgrades to become the giant robot monster and yay, killing is fun or something like that, if we can get the quote. But yeah, I think it's hilarious because it's always that positive attitude and it's not always a positive thing that's happening. So I'd have to go with Orf.
Frank, who's your favorite character?
See, my favorite character, and I think we're going to discuss favorite villain later, are one and the same person. That is the Mad King himself.
Ooh.
I love the Mad King because it is based off of one of my favorite people in Achievement Hunter, Ryan Haywood. And just the way he acts in control of everything and is very, I don't know how to describe
He's methodical.
He's very methodical.
He thinks he kind of talks in riddles. He's really good with people, manipulating people.
He's a great manipulator.
Yeah.
And he manipulated me into liking him more than anyone else. So that's my reasoning. Also, he throws a broken crown as a weapon. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
What
All right,
about
Michael?
you?
My favorite character, I might have to go with Rusty.
Oh my gosh, yeah. How could I forget about Rusty?
He was cool. He was this paranoid conspiracy theorist, but he also kind of helped. He was also helping X-Ray and Vav. I think he was homeless as well, or something. Or at least he looked it. He was an older fellow, but he also imparted some wisdom every now and again to them.
Yeah.
And was helpful throughout. And I just thought he was a cool character.
Okay.
I tend to favor the old wise characters over other ones. I like the older wise characters. I don't know, it's just my thing.
Right. And no one made mention of the one character that's probably one of the more important ones because he's worked on another show that we're about to talk about. Kerry Shawcross. As was it Dragon Fist?
Dragon Face.
Dragon Face, that's it. Yeah, the little kid that
He wanted to be X-Ray and Vav's sidekick, but
right.
They had a restraining order out on
of
him.
50 feet or something.
And then I think they extended it to, threatened to extend it to 500 feet, but then they didn't for whatever reason.
And then they did eventually, but X-Ray ripped it up later. But we'll leave that to if anyone wants to watch it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Kerry Shawcross as a voice actor. And I know both of you know why that's so important for our next topic, which is RWBY.
They see you as small and helpless. They see you as just a child. Surprised when they find out that a warrior will soon run wild.
The future fantasy world of Remnant is filled with ravenous monsters, treacherous terrain, and more villains than you can shake a sniper scythe at it. Fortunately, Beacon Academy is training huntsmen and huntresses to battle the evils of this world, and RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang are ready for their first day of class.
But there's 4 of them, as you mentioned. RWBY, Weiss, Yang, and Blake. Mm-hmm. I think I named those out of order.
Yeah, it's not really set order.
I mean, RWBY. By the way, in case you couldn't tell, RWBY in this show is spelled RWBY, not like a ruby or the character Ruby.
Yeah.
Yes, it does get confusing. They even make mention of that in the show, which I think is awesome. On this list, this is my favorite show. Yes, this is one of my favorite shows just ever.
I mean,
it's a really good show.
We were up last night at what? How late watching the new episode that came out last night?
I think midnight when we watched it.
Roughly, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're diehard fans.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that being said, let's just focus on the Beacon saga for now and go with your favorite villain.
Just for people who don't know, the Beacon saga is volumes 1 through 3.
If I'm gonna go with my favorite villain, that's an easy one. It's Roman Torchwick.
I knew that one was coming. I absolutely knew it. Why would you say that?
He is a villain with class. He has, I think it's like a bowler hat and a cane. And he's classy, and that's what I like about him.
I mean, he really is.
He's also like the first villain that gets introduced in the whole series.
He's a professional sweetheart, baby.
He is.
I think I have to agree with you on that. I mean, there's not many villains from volumes 1 through 3. But Torchwick is just kind of awesome.
Yeah.
He's so good with that cane. His cane can also, the end can flip up to be like
it's a gun.
Scope thing, and he can shoot.
So, my super villain, or I guess not super villain, but just villain in general from volume 1 to 3, differs a little bit from yours. I really like Roman Torchwick because he's such a classy character. if it weren't for the fact that he's evil, he might be all right, you know. But my favorite villain, Cinder. Ironically enough, as you guys know, and we won't try and spoil the show, but she's one of the villains that continues to grow through the experiences that she has.
And isn't just like a flat character.
Right. So while she's evil, you still get to see her grow and new things and new experiences that she's, experiences. And it's kind of cool to see that happen, especially for a villain, which you don't normally see unless it's a backstory.
What about your guys' favorite fight scenes?
Oh, that's easy for me. It's the I can't remember. Oh, it's the food fight in the beginning of Volume 2.
I was going to say the same thing.
That food fight was awesome. You had Team RWBY versus Team Juniper, which is Jean, Nora, Pyrrha, and Ren.
In that order.
I think I got their order right.
You did.
And that's just such an awesome fight scene. Nora takes a metal pole, sticks it into a watermelon, knocks Yang up through the roof, and miles high into the air. Which begs, and Ren takes some bread and starts hitting people with it, or no, it's like celery, and I think Blake
took rhubarb or something.
Yeah, and Blake took the bread, and they're hitting. The food's not breaking, which begs the question: how stale is that food?
yeah, it had to be really old. And I mean,
Yang just puts her hands into it's like a couple of turkeys and starts punching people because her weapons are usually gauntlets that are also shotguns.
Right.
And it's just an awesome fight scene that ends with RWBY using her semblance, which is like a superpower. You go really fast and blow all of Team Juniper into the wall, and if all the food come on them, they just kind of fall off. And then you have Neptune and Sun walk in, and I love these guys are awesome. And Sun's trying to talk up Neptune, but all these guys, I love these food flying everywhere. Neptune gets hit with food. It's I love these guys.
And it was a long fight scene too. It was probably one of the longest ones.
It's 4 or 5 minutes long.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? I might have to change mine because
is yours?
Volume 3 we see the Vital Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And since you already talked about the food fight, I'll talk about another fight scene that I liked. And I might have to go with the Sun versus, what was their team name?
Indigo.
I thought that one was so good.
Again, a team of all guys versus a team of all girls.
The boys against the girls is what they were calling it in the show. So I thought it was a really great fight scene. I mean, we have 8 characters, and they're, it's not a fight to the death or like a food fight where it's fun. It's like for a tournament. So there was some seriousness behind it, and
You're trying to win, but they weren't going to kill each other.
Right. It was. I thought the choreograph is, if I want to get technical, I thought it was really well choreographed. Like the characters, if one was hit back, you got to follow that character to where they went, and something that they did impacted another one, and it was this whole cycle and sequence of things just happening all at once, and there was so much going on. One of my favorite scenes from that is Scarlet, I think is his name.
Gavin's character?
Yes.
Yeah. Scarlet.
Yeah. He stabs the sail and rides it down to the bottom, I think he shoots like a grappling hook at the one girl and grabs her by the leg and uses her weight to go down to the bottom. And while he's going down and pulling her up, a bunch of knives fall from her pockets and they fall right around him. He just freezes in this weird stance and they all fall around him. And people have made mention of how lucky he is and that kind of thing and all that. But it just seemed like it happened for a reason and everything molded so well.
See, you had to limit me to volumes 1 through 3, so I had to remember some of my fights. And my favorite fight, I think, in volumes 1 through 3, includes my favorite villain. And it's when RWBY, Neo, and Roman are all fighting on top of the ship.
Oh, that's right.
That was a good one.
It's a very spoilery of how they all got there, so I won't go into it. But
we gave a spoiler warning.
We
are kind of low on time, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to cut it short.
Yep.
And let's not try and spoil the ending either, because I know that's a really important ending. So,
But Roman and Neo are up to no good. For those of you who don't know, Neo is Roman's sidekick, I guess.
Henchman kind of thing.
I want to call it henchman because she's better than any henchman.
And possibly better than
right
Roman.
hand girl.
Yes.
I wouldn't say right hand man, right hand woman.
Yeah.
Sure.
And but they're basically fighting on top of an airship, and it's amazing because it's super intense, and any of them could fall off at any moment from the hits they're taking, and it's one of my favorite fights. It's really good.
Yep.
Also, you get to see Roman Torchwick kick ass.
Yep.
He does really well. Yeah.
All right, very very quickly, what would you guys rate the show?
Oh man.
10.
Since it's not finished, I don't know if I can give it a full rating because the finish is obviously one of those things that's gonna be really.
All right,
important.
since we've just been talking about volumes 1 through 3, what would you rate volumes 1 through 3?
Ooh.
9.9.
Yeah. I'm I got to give it a 9.9. I'm not about handing out perfect scores, but if there were to be one, this would probably be it. So I'm going to give it a 9.9.
Let's see, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Oh, well, you're skimpy, so...
All right, the last show we're going to talk about today is Camp.
There's a place I know that's tucked away, a place where you and I can stay, where we can go to laugh and play and have adventures every day. I know it sounds hard to believe, but guys and gals, it's true. Camp Campbell is the place for me and you.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason... Well, Camp's new.
Well, what is Camp?
All right. So it's basically a story about this summer camp where at this camp of Camp Campbell, yes. And at this camp, they have multiple different camps. Yeah, the salute. And it's anything goes. So they have anything from like your... I want to try...
Would
we'll
you
save
say
this for later.
that there's a place you know that's tucked away?
A place where you and I can stay?
Where we can go and laugh and play?
And
Have adventures every day?
I know it sounds hard to believe.
But guys and gals, it's true.
Camp Campbell is the place for me and you.
I mean, it's this camp where you can go and they have science camps and sports camps and any camp really that you can think of all in one place. Opinions of the shows. What do you guys think of it?
I love it.
It's hilarious.
Me too. I really do. Again, this is probably one of those ones, like if we want to rate it right now, this is another one where I'm going to give it a really high score. So I want you guys to go first.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's super funny and really enjoyable. And definitely not for kids, despite the fact that it might look like it's for kids.
Absolutely, it is absolutely not. How about you, Frank?
I think I'm going to give it close to what Michael gave, a 9 out of 10, because it's a little too short sometimes, but like it gets the jokes in, and sometimes they're just rapid fire jokes all the time, jokes nonstop.
Yep.
Josh?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you guys and go with a 9. I think it's really good. There's a lot of really funny jokes, like you guys mentioned. David is one of my favorites of like all sorts of series. He's just such a cheery guy and like can always see the positive. And the way that goes against like Max's character is so funny, and so many jokes come
So
out of it.
basically,
It's so
you
good.
have David, the ultimate optimist,
Yeah,
and then you have Max, the ultimate pessimist.
yeah, and so many jokes ensue. It's so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
All right, so you gave us your favorite character. What's your favorite character, Frank?
I honestly don't know. What's the artist kid's name?
Artist?
Oh, wait,
Isn't
which
it-
art kid?
Isn't it Dolph or
Oh,
something?
Dolph. Yeah,
Oh,
Dolph.
yeah, Dolph.
Dolph. Yeah.
It's a little German kid, and it's hilarious because
High five.
it's
High five.
quite possibly a very good callback to bad things that happened in World War II.
Yeah.
But it's done hilariously.
Yeah, they I know that they focus an entire episode around it, which is again
It's
not
called
for
Rainy
kids.
Day.
Yeah, it is absolutely not for kids. But it is quite hilarious. They take some shots and digs and make really inappropriate jokes, which are admittedly kind of funny. Mm-hmm. So, Michael.
My favorite character is probably Max. Max or Neil. I can't pick. They're both awesome. Neil is the science kid, the geek, the nerd, but he doesn't really care about much. He's basically Max, but smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max is very, like, deceiving and cunning, while...
He's very streetwise, whereas
witty.
Neil
Neil
is
is
very book smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil
Max is very
maybe-
witty.
Yeah. So I like both of them for different reasons, but they're both awesome, and I can't pick.
All right, so I have a follow-up question then, because my favorite character is the camp counselor. And I guess you guys already answered this, but of the campers, just the Camp Campbell campers, who's your favorite camper?
Are we including Max, Nikki, and Neil, the three main characters?
Let's not count them, because
I mean,
they're in
mine's
almost
still
every
good.
episode.
Mine's still good then.
Yeah.
Dolph.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
All right, well, mine's going to be Space Kid, then.
All right, Space Kid.
Space Kid is awesome. He's funny. He's also
other
little...
Neil.
Yeah, he's
the
other
other
Neil
Neil.
because he is the great-grandson or great-grandnephew of Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, in the show.
So he's like Neil Armstrong Jr., which also leads to a funny joke in the show, which I don't know if we can say.
Probably not.
There's a lot of profanity in the show, and we're trying to keep this family-friendly.
What's the cool kid's name? 'Cause-
Arid?
Arid, that's it.
Arid's also my favorite. Strictly because of her parents. Which I'm not going to spoil. You guys need to watch. It's perfect.
That comes at the end of the second season in the finale, which was fantastic too. And for my favorite camper, that's a tough one. Like, there's so many really good ones. I like the Magic Kids, and to decipher that, there's Narasacute, who's the Magic Kid is in.
Like D&D, magic, fantasy.
Right. And then there's
Harrison.
Yeah. And
Who
he's
does
so
actual, like, sleight of hand magic.
yeah. And his character, whenever we get to see him in season 2, and does he have his own episode in season 1?
Yes, because Neil is freaking out because they don't know how Harrison's doing his magic.
Right. There was a lot, like, he had a lot of really witty comments and a lot of funny jokes and a lot, like, he kind of reminded me of Neil in the fact that, like, he's quick-witted and he's smart. He's just not science smart. He knows what he's doing in the magic.
Yeah.
And it just made that whole sequence of events so funny.
All right, let's have a fun little game. Can you name all the different camps Camp Campbell has to offer?
I don't know.
Oh.
Josh.
All right.
I mean, it's in the theme song that goes by really, really fast.
Yeah, I can give it my best shot. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing it. But there's archery, hiking, search and rescue, biking, horseback training that'll save you from a heart attack, scuba diving, miming, keeping up with rhyming, football, limbo, science, stunting, pre-calc, spaceships, treasure hunting, bomb defusal, no refusal, fantasies, circus, trapeze, and knives and ghosts and weights and oh gosh, I can't remember. There's like 3 more.
I don't know.
You did better than I could.
Way better than I could do, too.
It's Camp.
Basically, pick a summer camp, it's there.
Mm-hmm. It may not be the best shape, but it's there.
It's there. Yeah.
It's not a very well-run camp. If you were to rank these shows, your favorite to least favorite, not saying they're bad, but 1 through 3, how would you do it?
I think, for me, at the top is definitely going to be RWBY. I followed RWBY since the first trailer came out when Montiome did everything by himself.
Yeah.
To now when they have like a crew of 50 animators at
It's
least.
a fairly large crew, yeah.
It's like exponentially grown and it's amazing. And then I think I'd have to put Camp under that because it's more recent and it's still going on. And X-Ray and Vav at the bottom. Not that I didn't think X-Ray and Vav was good, but just because it's been longer and they kind of like ended.
Yeah,
That's
my
right.
list would actually be the same as yours. I love RWBY. It's awesome. It's still going on. Camp is really funny. I can't wait for the next season. And then X-Ray and Vav, probably mainly because it's over and it doesn't look like it's going to come back anytime soon, which is unfortunate because it did end on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So I think my list is actually going to look a lot like yours as well, where I'm going to put RWBY at the top, really close. I mean, these are all going to be so close together.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all 3 of these shows. Mm-hmm. They all have their moments of comedy. They all have their moments of seriousness, some more than others. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be really, really close in my mind. RWBY's at the top, followed very, very closely by Camp, followed very, very closely by X-Ray and Vav.
So we all agree.
Yeah.
I think that's about all the time we have.
Thank you for joining us. Next week, we'll be talking about Rick and Morty.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub!